Convicted by a typo. The case that put an innocent man in prison. On paper, the case was airtight. A name, a date, a criminal record that matched perfectly. In reality, it was all wrong, by one letter. In the spring of 2004, Marcus Reed was stopped by police outside a grocery store in Cleveland, Ohio. It was routine. A broken tail light, a few questions, nothing unusual. Then the officer paused. He looked back at his screen, then at Marcus, then at the screen again. "There's a warrant out for your arrest," he said. Marcus laughed. "That's impossible. The warrant was for armed robbery, committed 3 years earlier in another county. The suspect's name, Mark Reed. Same last name, same first name, almost, same birth year. One missing letter." Marcus tried to explain. He had never owned a gun. He had never been arrested for anything more serious than a parking ticket. He worked 2 jobs. He lived with his sister. He had pay stubs, co-workers, a life that didn't match the crime. None of it mattered. The system had found a match, and once it does, it rarely lets go. At the county jail, Marcus asked to see the warrant. That's when he noticed it. The suspect's name was spelled M-A-R-K. His name was M-A-R-C-U-S, but somewhere in the state database, a clerk had entered Mark instead of Mark. Then another system shortened it further. Then another autofilled the rest. By the time it reached the police computer, the system believed they were the same person. To the database, Marcus Reed was Mark Reed, and databases don't doubt themselves. Marcus was told the mistake would be cleared up soon. Soon turned into days. Days into weeks. At his first court appearance, his public defender glanced at the file for less than 5 minutes. "The records show a prior," she said. "It's not me," Marcus replied. "It's a typo." She nodded, but the judge was already moving on. The prosecution had paperwork. The defense had explanations. Paperwork wins. Marcus's sister brought documents, birth certificates, employment records, even photos from the day the robbery happened. Marcus was at a family barbecue, smiling into a camera while someone else committed the crime. But the prosecution argued something simple and deadly. Databases don't make mistakes, people do. And since Marcus was a person, he became the mistake. Requests to audit the records were denied. Fingerprint comparisons were delayed. Surveillance footage from the original robbery had been misplaced. Each delay worked against him, because in America's justice system, time in custody pressures people to give up. 6 months in jail changed Marcus. He lost one job, then the other. His sister fell behind on rent trying to support him. His public defender pulled him aside one afternoon and spoke quietly. "They're offering a plea," she said. "What?" "Time served, probation. You walk out today." "But I didn't do it." "I know," she said. "But if you fight this and lose, you're looking at 12 years. Marcus stared at the floor. This is how innocent people are convicted, not with evidence, but with exhaustion. He signed. The typo became permanent. Marcus walked out of jail a free man. On paper, he was a convicted felon. Jobs disappeared the moment background checks ran. Apartments denied him. Loans vanished. Even volunteering at his nephew's school was off limits. He began to believe the system had erased the man he used to be, all because of a missing letter. 3 years later, a law clinic at a local university took interest in Marcus's case, not because it was dramatic, but because it was boring, clerical, administrative, exactly the kind of injustice that hides in plain sight. A law student requested the original arrest records for Mark Reed, the real suspect. For the first time, fingerprints were compared properly. They didn't match. Facial recognition didn't match either. The robbery suspect had a scar Marcus didn't have. The truth had always been there. No one had bothered to look. The state reviewed the case internally. No press conference, no apology, just a memo. Clerical error identified. Marcus's conviction was vacated, but the damage was already done. 3 years lost, a reputation destroyed, a record that would never fully disappear. No clerk was charged, no prosecutor disciplined, no judge reviewed. The system corrected the typo, but not itself. Marcus received a small settlement, enough to pay debts, not enough to buy back time. When asked what hurt most, he didn't mention prison. He mentioned the moment he realized the truth didn't matter. Only data did. This wasn't a story about violence. It was about trust. Trust in systems built to move fast, not to be right. Trust in databases treated like truth. Trust in a justice system that values efficiency over humanity. Marcus Reed was not convicted by evidence. He was convicted by a typo. And somewhere, right now, another name is being entered wrong. Another life is quietly being rewritten, because injustice doesn't always wear handcuffs. Sometimes, it's just a spelling mistake.